This video is all about steering wheels in Forza Horizon 6, the settings that you need to know, and also whether the wheels are good or bad, because I've been playing Forza Horizon 6 for a long time now in early access and been doing most of that on wheels. In fact, I might have the most time out of anyone in the world on a steering wheel. So I've been using my Logitech G Pro with the circular rim. I'm running my G Pro 8 Newton meters, and I've come up with two different settings that are completely the opposite, but I think they're both legitimate. Now, here I'm going to be driving a Mazda MX-5. I have raced Mazda MX-5s in real life in Spain. I track day my real world car, my Peugeot RCZ, at tracks in the UK. I've driven Astons and McLarens and Ferraris on circuits. I've driven a Ferrari 488 GT3 in America. So I know a lot about driving road cars, power steering cars on circuits. In reality, I also obviously know a lot about sim racing, and the main difference between the two, if I want to boil it down for you, when you're driving high performance road cars or just, sporty road cars in real life, you don't get a ton of information back to you from the wheel. You turn the wheel, you then feel what happens as you've manipulated the car through your body, and then you correct if needed through the wheel, you feel what happens and so forth. In sim racing, you do something with the wheel, you immediately feel back through the force feedback of the wheel how the car is responding for that, and you make adjustments that way. So very philosophically different. You can see why they do this in sim racing, because as I'm sat here in this rig, the only piece of equipment capable of giving me back dynamic information, really apart from the visuals of the horizon, is the shaft on the steering wheel. So the first setting I'm going to show you here is what I would call authentic power steering. Okay? So remember, I have raced this car in real life. I know what racing and driving Mazda MX-5s feel like, and the steering is very light. And what that means is that you're not getting a ton of inertia, countersteer feeling through the wheel. So the wheel naturally kind of countersteers a little bit for you, by the way, because the tyres want to return to central. But it's not giving you anything more than that, I would say, in terms of understanding where you are on the limit. So with this setting, it's very realistic, in my opinion, as to what it feels like actually handling the steering wheel in real life, but you have to drive visually. You really have to scan the horizon, you have to listen to the car, you have to look at the pitch very closely and feel that, because you're not going to get extra sensations through the wheel that you wouldn't get in real life, in my opinion. So I would call this authentic. Obviously, I'm going to show you the settings. I've actually boiled it down to one setting that you're going to change between the two that I'm going to show you. Okay? Now, I want to try and get into the battle here, because when you're racing with other cars, it actually can become a little bit easier to drive using this setting, because you can see the pitch and stuff of your car compared to the cars around you. But when you're driving on your own, it's very difficult to be in tune, I would say, in this setting off the bat. You need to really understand your car. So the rewarding thing about this setting is that you have to understand your car so well. You have to understand the performance envelope, you have to understand when it wants to kill you, you have to understand, where the grip really is, and you can have a really rewarding time in Forza Horizon 6, in my opinion, with this power steering authentic setting, as I've been fishtailed, and I didn't really have much information there. That's the whole point. I didn't have much information to go on at all. So you can see I'm kind of letting the wheel run through my hands. By the way, I'll just show you as well, even though I have this wheel set up at 1080, it stops at 540. So better than nothing, better than 180 degree rotation visually, or 360, but it stops at 540. Okay, now I'm going to show you the difference. Oh, my wheel was so far to the left. It was actually, you can actually go through the menu like that. Oh! By the way, I have almost, I think, broken my thumbs on many occasions doing all these settings. So hopefully I'm saving you from injury. So these are my settings here. So vibration on, I haven't added any dead zones to the steering, the throttle, or the brake. I'm not using a clutch here. I'm not using handbrake here. Vibration scale 0.5. Force feedback scale 1. Center spring 1.4, so again I've got some center spring there. Wheel damper 0.8, and there's no damper on my wheel in the G Pro, by the way. 0.2 mechanical trail scale. I remember in Forza Motorsport doing a lot of stuff about mechanical trail. Force feedback minimum force 0.9. You have to be very careful with that one, because if you up that too high, that can injure you potentially. Force feedback load sensitivity 0.7. This is the key one. Okay. Road feel 1.5, off-road 0.6, steering rotation 1080, multiply 10 sensitivity. Multiply and sensitivity both 1. Right. So this force feedback load sensitivity, I'm going to up to 1.5 now. Okay. So that's the only change I'm going to make, and I'm going to restart this race. And you may see, obviously nothing's guaranteed, but you may see visually that my driving visually looks different. Okay? Because now I've basically inbuilt inertia and weight transfer into the feedback that the wheel is giving me back. So as I turn in, as I corner, as I pitch the car, as I get on the throttle, as I get on the brake and off the brake, I can feel exactly where the car is on the weight transfer. And therefore, this is what I call the sim racing setting. You can be a lot faster in this wheel. You can counter steer before you could counter steer visually. Almost, it's like cheating, because you can just feel so much through the wheel. You can see that I'm able to, if I sort out my gearing, carry more speed through the corners, and I should be able to carve my way through this pack here. The proof is going to be the pudding, and the pudding in this case is a steering wheel. So let's see. Again, I can feel so much weight inertia there. I can feel as I turn in here exactly where the grip is. So that means that I can be more confident on the throttle. You can see I can make little corrections on the wheel visually, but the car basically keeps going straight, which is obviously faster. Whereas on my authentic power steering settings, look at this, look at that, look at that, look at that. Look at that way I was just able to, you could see compared to the, not the ghost cars ahead of me, that was quite a good line that I'm able to hold there because I can feel the weight. Again, I don't think you really feel that, in my opinion, when you drive this car in real life through the wheel. And you can just see that we're way faster here. Now, I think both options are valid, because to me, this is more like a game. It's more like I want to be as fast as possible, and it's almost like a little bit of extra force feedback that I can feel through the wheel. What I call the authentic power steering setting, to me, is more realistic and will be more rewarding, because I think you can get to driving fast on that, but you'll need to understand where your car oversteers, understeers, and that's very similar. I can tell you, I'm doing track days at the moment with my Peugeot RCZ. I'm not driving it like this. I'm not chucking it in late, feeling exactly how much grip there is, and carrying maximum grip through the corner. 100% not. I'm working out the parameters of my car. I'm paying a lot of attention visually. If I'm having counter steer, I'm kind of feeling it through my body, seeing the horizon move. I'm not just, I can't drive it with my eyes closed, basically. This one you could kind of drive with your eyes closed. Sounds kind of stupid, but you can feel you can feel what's going on so much through the wheel. Almost, it's not cheating, but philosophically it's almost cheating the experience. So for me, it depends how you actually want to drive Forza Horizon 6. If you want to drive this as a game that is is almost like an extension of what you do in reality. So let's say you have a Mazda MX-5 in reality and you want to drive it around Japan and tune it and drive on the highways with complete freedom, I would 100% try out my authentic power steering settings. If you just want to come in and drive fast and you want to feel I don't know if it makes it more SimCade, I don't even know, but you want to feel like that weight inertia in the wheel, even if that might not be the most realistic thing, try my sim racing settings. And again, I've boiled it down so there's just one slider you need to change. So it's super interesting. Let me know what you think in the comments. Which style philosophically do you prefer? Make sure to subscribe for more like this. I haven't been paid to make this video. I want to make that clear. I've got the pre-release, but there's no payment. And I'll see you in the next video.